Hey,
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Knitting in Our Jeans.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us if you're new. And if you're returning, thank you very much for coming back.
Yes, we really appreciate you.
If you don't know by now, I'm Liz.
Oh, I thought you were going to spell it. Anyway, I'm Carolyn.
And you can find us on Instagram and Ravelry as Knitting in Our Jeans.
Yes.
Mom typically is the one posting, but maybe we should start thinking about what we want to do with our advent calendars on the in-between the Sundays. We should talk about that after or while we're doing this.
I have no idea what she's talking about, folks, so this is going to be news to me.
This is going to be hilarious.
Okay.
So last year we did something like Vlogmas. I don't think we're going to be doing that this year.
No one cared. No one cared. And I found it really difficult because we were not together.
Right.
She lives in Queens. I live in Nassau County. We have totally different work schedules.
So I think our goal should be to post on the Instagram every day.
That's a goal, and I've been thinking about that.
So instead of Vlogmas, we'll have Instagram-miss.
That works. And then we can, because we've got advent calendars, so we can certainly Instagram the advent calendars. And then, honestly, we are working. Obviously, when we report our knitting progress at the end of the week, we've been knitting. Is that a gnat? I thought there was a gnat on the screen. Sorry, guys.
There's something on the screen.
There is something on the screen.
But it is not a bug because it is not moving, but there is like a scratch or something.
There's something.
In other...
Sorry, guys. Yes.
But if you want to find us individually, I'm Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou, on both Instagram and Ravelry. And that little white hair loves to stick through. There we go.
We're having problems. I have a knot in these. Anyway, I'm cpredmor on Ravelry. I do have an Instagram account under that name, and I can't remember the last time I posted. And yes, I do agree with you with social media. We should probably be posting it at least once a week, if not once a day. And certainly you all know that in the summer I'm much more active because I'm posting all kinds of sailing pictures along with my knitting. So you see a lot of my knitting next to the gunnel of the boat, showing that I am working on it. But we do knit probably some part every day. And I know that I want to finish this hat that I said, the Fluxions hat that I started. I want to get that finished as soon as possible because I realized that my howl, while it's warm, is supremely unattractive. I mean, it is incredibly unattractive.
It's great for snow shoveling, though.
Snow shoveling is great.
And for those days when it is just
deep
so
winter
gross.
Storms.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it's so gross, you're just like, I don't care what I look like. That's like what my purple super chunky hat is pretty adorable, but also like it's ridiculous because it's giant.
Yes.
Like,
so
and
anyway, I have started the hat, which we will talk about.
So Mom has her howl for those days where she doesn't care what other people think about her. I have my big purple hat, which I put on over my giant headphones. That might be something, because my headphones are dying.
Okay, and I was just... You know what happened to me this week?
What?
I took my...
Did you lose your ears again?
No, I lost and found my remembrance cowl.
I'm so proud of you for the second part of that statement.
I had hooked it over my arm because it was too warm leaving the office.
Okay.
And so I hooked it over my arm, like my arm through it, and went to the car. And the next day when I'm looking for it here, I can't find it.
Oh my God, was it stuck on your coat?
No.
Oh no.
So then I get to work. I don't see it there. I come out from work, and it's in the parking lot next to my car. So I managed to park
in the same
parking spot. And didn't see it in the dark when I got there for work, but saw it in the afternoon. So I actually have to wash it.
Yeah.
It's full of leaves. But at least I found it again. But I'm thinking, that is a lovely thing. And I would like to do something like that. Maybe a different pattern.
Well, you wanted to design that other one. But nevertheless. Yes.
But that was a scarf.
You could still make it a cowl.
I guess I could. So I think I need that. That's something I could do over break. Because I need something that's black and hot pink, or hot pink and something. Because really, as much as I love the Remembrance cowl, it's red and black, which doesn't go with my coat.
And I just realized the mitts I was going to make you are red, and they're not going to go with your hot pink coat.
Well, I'm not wearing them as with my coat. I'm wearing them inside the house.
Okay.
They're not for outside.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm glad I brought it up.
They're not for outside.
Okay. They're for inside when it is too cold?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or when the wind's blowing and this house
Yes.
doesn't offer any protection whatsoever.
Or when Dad decides you're going to go to the boat and you find it too cold to...
Yes, that
And you
would
need
be
your
good.
fingers?
That would be
Okay.
good.
So I can still work
Absolutely.
on them.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes, I was planning on kind of surprising her with them, but then I was like, meh, effort.
Of course, these were Christmas presents from several Christmases ago. That should be something I do. I'll get you something for Christmas and then give it to you 3 years later. That's great. Anyway, I'm not bitter.
No, not at all. I totally gave you something else that Christmas. I totally did.
Yeah, something from 3 years before that.
No.
We'll talk about this later. No, I kept looking for them, sweetie. You kept saying, I'm working on them. I'm working on them.
Right, but I'm pretty sure I gave you something else, not the... Like, I'm pretty sure I gave you a commercial pair of gloves that year, too.
Well, that could be, but you can get a commercial pair of gloves for, like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So anyway, what should we do now?
So, what are you working on?
Right now, I am working on my addition socks. And I realized that I didn't use a progress keeper this week, so I can't tell you that I definitely have worked on them. And no, I agree, they don't look a whole lot longer, but I've done at least a pattern's worth.
Pattern repeat?
Pattern repeat on them. And I'm doing them when I'm working on them when my students are giving presentations in the class. And we've had a bit of chaos in the presentations, because normally I can just knit away. But we've had problems with, the projector not working, the computer not connecting, all that kind of stuff. So I haven't been able to concentrate on my knitting or be able to do my knitting while I'm listening to them as much as I usually do. So I'm hoping that this week it'll be better. Although I do have to say I had a student who just emailed me that they'd gotten a slight concussion on Friday because they were hit in the head with a piece of wood.
Oh, good.
I don't even want to know.
Oh, good.
I don't even want to know what the heck happened.
Yeah,
that seemed really unruly. Anyway, so that'll be more confusion in the classroom because we then have to figure out how to fit him into the schedule in a new place rather than where he is now, which is, I'm assuming, Tuesday. Otherwise, why would he tell me?
Right.
So anyway, I am presently working on these, which I'll be working on while we chat. But there's a couple other things I'm working on. Should I go into all of it?
Well, do you want to do one and then one and then one and then
We
one?
can do that. What are you doing?
So, remember how last week I was blocking my Tegna and we discovered that I had knit it like 2 inches too long? So, yeah. So, I'm going to finish this row and then I'm going to show you.
It was almost a length that I could wear.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I'm not as short-waisted as you are.
Yeah.
Her tallness is in her legs.
Yeah.
And if you see that we're roughly the same height here, I'm in a chair that's a couple inches lower.
Probably about 1.5 inches lower.
Yeah.
But I mean, your shoulder is also lower than mine.
Yes.
But also, if I sit in that, I look significantly short. I look very
here. So that's why I sit like this.
Yeah.
I'm only an inch shorter than she is.
Yeah.
And I'm taller from my waist up. So this balances for the presentation.
Yeah.
For the
So I
podcast.
decided, I ended up.
I love that.
Thank you. I frogged to the marker that I had chosen, which was a bit longer than 13 inches. Just because I wanted to give myself just that little bit of wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
So see that, that's not it. So then I counted the rows from here to that point, and because it's approximately, when I remeasured it, it was about 5 inches, which kind of makes sense. Sorry, I have an itch. So I counted the rows, and I have 37 rows between the purl ridge and this waist yarn, which is the break row for the armholes. And then I measured my arm, like the width of my arm, or circumference, there we go, of my arm. and my arm is approximately 12 inches. So I'm going to knit 43 rows to approximately get about 5.5 to 6 inches blocked length, because obviously this will be a blocked garment. And it should still fit then, because there are a few other things you do to the back and the front after you hit the armhole length.
Well, what's the armhole length that they suggest?
4 3/4 inches.
You're kidding me.
And all of the complaints about it are that the armholes are very short, or very tight.
Yeah.
So,
and what are you doing?
I'm adding about 1.5 inches.
Oh, at least.
Well, I'm gonna go to 43 rows, which should be about 6 inches.
All right. I mean, that minimally.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna measure my yarn again. I have about 70 grams left, so hopefully I will not go through that too quickly. I've already knit, I think it's like 18 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18 of the 43. And I'm obviously still in the frogged yarn, if you can see. Yeah, the frogged yarn.
Yeah, it's a little crinkly.
So I'm hoping to get back, to the full height of the back by,
Tonight?
No, probably in a few days. But this might become my first project where I had been carrying something else, which I have worked on. But that is what I'm working on in my lap right now. What else have you been working on this week?
Lots.
So have I. So let's keep going.
I wanted to show you all progress. I have to say, having a podcast really is stimulating the idea that getting stuff done. I did not start on my dress. Why? The Tegna was on the dining room table.
Sorry.
And
you could have taken it off if it was dry.
I'm not going there. So anyway, it's dry now, so maybe I'll be able to get to it this week. We'll see. Term papers come in on Tuesday.
Well,
and that's 67 of them. So I have a feeling they're going to be on the dining room table.
I'm coming out here next Saturday, I think.
All right, so I have the pattern.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to try to blast through those term papers in like 24 to 48 hours. Because, if you go, oh my God, let me tell you that a really good term paper I can read in 5 minutes. Yeah. They're like a novel. And it flows and it's so easy. And I love them. The ones that are having problems with...
are the ones where I get lots of text messages.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, did you open your advent calendar? Hey, what is this tea? I remember that tea I had there. Mom, you're supposed to be grading.
I know.
No, I'm not. No. Mom, grade.
I start eating. Anything. It's just terrible. So anyway, a bee paper, it takes 10, 15 minutes. And when they get worse than that, a paper can take an hour and a half as I go through and line by line make corrections, because I think those are important. And I'm grading on paper because I have yet to get a software that allows me to grade and make comments directly on a digital paper. And, I can't give the kind of feedback that I want to give. So I'm grading on paper. And we'll see how long it takes. Sometimes I pre-stack them so that I know I'm going to have a good paper at least every 5. And then I can get through the other 4. And then I'll have a good paper and then I'll get through the other 4. I may do that. Because 67 papers is a lot.
You usually read through the first 2 or 3 sentences and then can tell from that how it's going to...
Yeah. And by this time, obviously I've been with them all semester. So I know generally what their work is like. So I'm looking forward to that. And the other thing is on Wednesday, my Marketing Honors seminar is going to be presenting. And we're presenting on strategic social media.
Ooh.
So this ought to be really good. We've been working on this all semester. And I think it's finally coming. During the day, yeah.
Nice.
And it's finally coming together. And for those of you who are interested in this at all, I can tell you that we've been searching for some research to find out if anybody's made a link between the volume of social media, because there's all of these guidelines about when to post and how we're supposed to be posting 10 times a day. 5 pieces of...
I thought it was max of 2 during high flow times.
No, now there's a 5-3-2 rule where you do 5 general interest kinds of things. There's 3 about products or services, and 2 about personal stuff so that you can form a relationship.
Every day or every week?
It says every day, but I think that's a bit high. Anyway,
unless you spread it out between all of the different platforms, like if you have a few, like if you have
that could be,
like if you do it on your Twitter and your Instagram and your Facebook, maybe, but like it's just a lot of
engagement. Yes, it is. So anyway, what we haven't been able to find, other than one lone article, is a connection between all of that activity and sales volume. And even then, it's from interview data, which nothing wrong with interview data, but the people they were interviewing, they were from a small village in Maine, and they didn't want to give any objective sales differences because everybody in town would know that they were the pharmacy. Yeah. So they have, one study has looked at, pre and post and said, yes, post, there's definitely more business, but we don't know how much business. There's a proposed study for a town or a region in Australia for this coming year. And I just, people haven't been writing about, this relationship, between volume of strategic social media and what you're getting back in sales. Because while it's free for us to look in at all of this and to read our Instagram, it's not free for the company. They're paying somebody to be this engaging and responsive, so that when you post something, you actually look at it and you give comments and feedbacks back. So anyway, it should be fun. They're semi-hysterical, but we've started practicing as of Friday. And I think we're going to have the full deck on Tuesday, so we should be able to practice the full deck. Tuesday, we'll practice it again on Wednesday at our normal class time, and then we're presenting from 1 to 2. And we have handbooks. We have a long, big handbook, a 60-page handbook. And then we've got a workbook, so where we ask questions and you fill in the answers, and you should be able to create your own strategic social media. So that's exciting. But it just means I've got a lot of grading work to do this week. So I probably
especially with finals next week.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, I got to put all those things together. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to get to the dress, but knitting is portable. So I'm working on the socks in class. But then the other thing I've got going, and let me take off my sweater. Whoops, there it goes. Down to the floor. This is the Taupo sweater for our friend, which has now gotten there.
It decided to become friends with the 2017 Sheep and Wool Festival bag.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, you have armholes.
I do.
You have one armhole.
Yes. So I have done a quarter of the sweater. And now it's over a lot of other sweater. So this... That
looks great.
Yes.
I think you've got almost half of it done.
I'm not counting the sleeves, but then the sleeves are short. So maybe a third of it done. So I have done half of the body of the sweater.
Yeah.
And I think it's got a nice...
Are these short rows in the back here?
Yes.
Nice.
Let's turn around. Short rows in the back
so,
to give it flair.
To give it some flair? That's very nice.
For the hips.
Yeah.
So I am working on that. I know there are some of you who were asking about it. And sometimes I come home and what I want to do is play video games. And I'm sorry if that disappoints some of you, but yes, I do like video games. I'm competitive, and obviously I don't take that out in the classroom because I'm the teacher. It wouldn't be that hard for me to beat up on everybody, and that's not my vision of education. My vision of education is trying to get everybody to learn something rather than to beat them up. So no competition there. And I try to work cooperatively within my own faculty too. So my outlet for competition is either sailing against other boats and they don't know that they're in a race, as other cruisers do, and or play video games. So sometimes I get sucked into the video game and end up not doing as much knitting. And then I go, what, are you crazy?
Yeah.
But obviously I did work on the Taupo this week, and I plan to work on that this coming week and maybe get the other half of the sweater done. It is, I think it's a worsted weight. And it works
worsted Aaron, something like
works
that.
it pretty fast. So,
yeah. So I've been
what have you
working
got?
on my ease. Which
Oh, you are
looking pretty good. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 6 in out of 9. I think decreases. Let's check. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. I can't see it very well when you're holding it and flinging it around. Very nice.
Yeah, and I tried it on about 2 weeks,
like
2 decreases away. Well, I like DK worsted sweaters. They're comfy, and I can wear them. And at work, I'm very cold.
Oh, really?
I work with all men.
Well, yes.
They set the temperature. So this is a little. It fit pretty well. So I'm gonna keep going. We'll see how it keeps on knitting up. I'm still on ball number 2 of the yarn. So we're just keeping knitting away on it. It has been my purse project, but I think I'm going to bring the Tegna instead because it is not as large. Right now I think they're about at the same.
I think they are.
Yeah.
But the Tegna is what?
Fingering. So, yeah. You have another thing to talk about, don't you?
I do.
Good.
So, speaking about the hat situation, and remember, I liked the Fluxions hat that she had, that Elizabeth had. So, I have started my Fluxions hat. We had a small problem downstairs, and that someone decided they had to clean up the basement while I was trying to work on the second pattern, so the gray part. So, my gray part, this part, is going in the wrong direction. We will not take it out because it's just my hat, and who's gonna, if anybody's that close, they better be kissing me, and I better know them, and the only person I know that's gonna be that close is family, and most of my family wouldn't know which way the pattern's supposed to go, so I'm not really worried about it, but we'll fix it the next 2 repeats that we have to do. So I have this. It definitely fits on my head. I don't want to overstretch it here and pull.
But I did see you put it on.
Stitches out. One of the other problems I've been having with my other hats is as my hair gets longer, what I do for driving into school is I put it up. So that gives me extra bulk in the back. And almost none of my hats were made to adjust for that extra bulk in the back. So this one I actually made the size medium. And I believe I'm going to have plenty of room for this to stretch. I did a very stretchy cast on. I did the Norwegian extra stretchy cast on.
That is really stretchy.
So I've got a very stretchy cast on. And this should be able to adjust for whatever bun or thing that I put my hair up in. And the reason I do that is, one, it keeps it from getting caught or in my way as I'm trying to drive to work. And, New York traffic, you don't need any additional distractions. Nope. And secondly, if it's going to be snowing or raining, this thing just blows up. I'm so sure some of you have hair that does. You can see it's frizzing now. We've been having rain all day. If I've done my hair in the morning, I don't need it to really be reacting on the way to work. I try to keep it under control. So my hat needs to have a little bit more room in it. So these are good colors. And then I think with my Nevertheless, I've got a really brilliant pink. And so maybe that's something I'm going to work on. Not in December, because I full up in December. Because you'll notice that of the 4 things I talked about last week, one of them has not been cast on. Which one is missing?
Oh.
Yes, my mother's
Mitts.
thrummed mittens. But I can have until December 24th. Well, 25th, right.
You can pull what I did for the Poppy sweater.
I can finish them very early on Christmas morning. But I figure I desperately need my hat. And so if I can finish that shortly, and I think you did yours in 2 days or something.
Something like that. It was
I may be
quick.
able to finish this by Monday night and then have it for Tuesday, and then I can segue into Mom's thrum mittens. Now, the thrum mittens are something that I really want to make just here at home, because you're pulling out pieces of fleece and you get fluff going all over the place. It's not a really good travel pattern, but it's an excellent mitten pattern. I mean, I love my mittens. They're so warm. And I have to say, between the coat and my mittens, I hardly know that the temperature is cold, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So once I can get a hat that I like,
you'll be set.
I'll be set. And then I want to start thinking about maybe a felted hat.
Okay.
We'll have to think about that.
Okay.
We'll have to test how much something will bring in. So I think a felted hat might be fun. Okay. We'll have to figure out what we want to do. That's a design thing.
Okay.
So that's what I'm working on.
So those are your 3 things?
Those are my
3 things?
I have 3 things. Yes.
So I kept on hearing the swan song of these Harry Potter house socks by Mint Rain. So I cast them on, as you can see. As per my gauge swatch, I should have apparently gone up to about 52 or 56 stitches at the toe. I went up to 52, and I got up to about here, and I had to rip it all back because it was a bit too loose. So too loose. So okay. I have 48 stitches till here, and then I have 52 from here to here, and then I increased again up to 56 because my foot does grow. At
and
those
do you have a high instep too?
I think I do. I'd call that a high instep.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to stay at 56. I didn't bring my heel yarn with me because I'm going to use a separate skein to do the short rows, or else I probably would have turned the heel yesterday, but I did not. But I wanted to show you. I started my socks. I did the.
You're not doing the invisible. Turn around. Turn it over.
No, I'm not doing your new favorite increase. No.
No. I'm also looking at you've got the jog.
Well, this is in the yarn.
Oh, it is.
This is in the yarn. These aren't separate skeins.
Got it.
Yeah, no. This is just how the yarn is dyed. So there's no real way to make it jogless.
Right. Okay.
And I did do some work on my cross stitch, but I don't feel like getting it out. It's down in the bottom of my bag.
Okay.
But I did have some crazy ideas this week. So have we finished anything this week?
I have not, except I finished an order. Remember I ordered that stuff, the Yowza from Miss Babs I told you about, and you said, oh my God, it's Black Friday's coming? Yes, well, they apparently got back from someplace and looked at what they had left, and they said, oh, it really isn't the same set of colors. And luckily, I checked my email, and I can show you kind of the difference. The yarn has not come, but if you remember, I bought this Molly Girl.
That was out on your trip.
Yes, at I want to say Plymouth. It's not that. Provincetown.
Yeah, Provincetown.
These are all the same color. They are not the same dye lot. This is called Water's Edge, and I think she made it just for that knitting store in Provincetown called Pearl. So the Yowza is much the same way. So that there's a much lighter skein, and then there's some darker skeins. Now, Yowza has about 1,500 yards. It's actually 560, so 3 will be 1,600 yards, which is perfect for a sweater. And honestly, I said, you know what? I'll use the lighter one up here as a yoke.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be great, and then I can use the other two. So I said, please go ahead and send them. So hopefully,
or you can use it as like a striping thing, and it ends up being just a subtle stripe, because that's what I did for my mascot. Remember the big purple one? Those the two colors I striped are actually the same color but different dye lots.
Right. So that should be coming shortly. But so I finished the order basically.
Good. Well,
yes.
I have decided to do something crazy.
Oh, tell me more.
So, we all know that there's this holiday coming up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
For those, Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate, as the first night is tonight. So, Happy Hanukkah.
Winter solstice is coming.
Winter solstice is coming. Christmas is coming. Kwanzaa is coming.
Yes.
All of the holidays are coming.
So what are you doing?
Well, this is the mommy mitts. And then
we'll see if they can finish.
Hey, they will. Even if it has to be done during crazy time. So I had this crazy thought of why not knit some gifts for people. So I'm thinking I might make a hat and a set of mitts out of this.
That's pretty.
Thank you.
That's very pretty.
And I might make a pair of socks out of this.
What is that?
This is the Yowza that I used as the, I think it's called Purple Passion or something, from my Amunjaya.
Yes, the one that you just have tons of yarn.
Yeah. I have almost 400 yards of this in my hand right now. So I think I'm going to make a pair of socks.
In the next 3 weeks.
Which I can do worsted or DK weight socks in a week.
That's true. Okay.
But I need to find out. I'm not going to tell you who it's for. I'll tell them after. But I need to find out the person's shoe size.
Because we have one of those rulers that will tell you. Mm-hmm. I think it's up there. I buy these things that are very useful, and then I forget where I put them.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to knit a Violet Waffles hat.
Oh, cool.
Out of this. And then there was a pair of mitts that was in the indie gift-along. It was on sale, and I got it, and they're really cute. And that's not it, but I have so many tabs. I need to go through my tabs on my phone and on my iPad and just, cull some here, because it's gotten bad. They're called, so I might make a pair of Woven Together by Lola Johnson. They're really pretty,
nice.
And you can make them short. Yeah. So I think I might make a set of those to go with the Violet Waffles hat.
Very nice.
Because I think that'll work nicely with that colorway.
Okay.
All while my brain is also telling me I totally need to knit an Alieska by Caitlin Hunter. Or a Christina Xtina crop by Born to Run.
So we're not going to cast those on just yet.
No, we're going to cast these on before we cast those on.
Okay.
I keep telling my brain to shut up.
Oh, okay.
Except my brain won't shut up, so I might end up going home and, putting the yarn in the Caitlin Hunter basket of, these are things I would like to knit. These are to be cast on, but we need to first get through these things.
Especially if they're Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
I will finish the hat.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, and then I can get started on Mom's mitts.
Yeah. And I know the mitts...
sweater's coming along.
And I know the mitts I was looking at for you don't take, they take about 8 hours each, because I knit those on the train to Pittsburgh over the summer for Misty. So I know they take about 8 to 9 hours each. So I'm pretty sure I can do those. And then the other crazy thought I had was to use the minis from last year's advent calendar with a skein of this sagey green. It looks really well. The new Adverturer scarf by Ambah O'Brien. Only problem is that my minis are 5 grams. So they're about 15 yards. So either I do that, or I just saw that Mina Phillips has a sock pattern made for minis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we might have to look at that after this
of course,
recording.
Any sock pattern you can use
right,
with the minis.
But this is made for minis.
Got it.
And I thought that could be really cute with these, since the designer kind of, or the person
color
who
coordinated them. They're shades.
Well, they did, yeah, they kind of rainbow. I took a photo because I put them in a rainbow-esque.
Yes, they are a rainbow.
Yeah. So I might do that. I'm leaning more towards the Mina socks now that I've seen them than this shawl, then this scarf, because what was I going to do with a scarf? I don't really wear scarves. I wear my Oak Park.
Right.
But that's about it.
Oak Park is gorgeous, and you wear that a lot.
Yeah, I wear a lot of Laura Ayler, to be honest. I like her construction. It's interesting.
Yes, very
I actually
interesting.
I have a shawl of hers that I want to cast on. I'm very proud of myself.
So many things.
So many things. I joked with my aunt last weekend when she was asking what we wanted for Christmas, and I was like, I don't know. Can you figure out a way to gift me more vacation days?
More
so
time.
I can just knit? And she goes, no. And I was like, damn, that would have been real helpful. So those are my crazy thoughts. I figured I'd share. My brain has still not shut off about the Alaska or this Xtina crop, which is actually, they're both beautiful colorwork yolks. So I could, and I think I want to use that alpaca that I used in the slide in both of them. So we'll see. I'm still kind of mulling over it.
Nevertheless cowl. That's really nice.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome for that brain weasel.
Mm-hmm.
Or brainworm. Earworm.
Not a problem.
Earworm for your knitting brain.
We're going to be away for 10 days in January on a boat, so I can take that with me, and if I've worked out the chart, I could be doing that.
Yeah.
That or the socks that I want to do.
Right. Or both.
And we'll have to look at the socks and decide if we want to do a sweater yoke.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be cute.
Which, I don't know what you're talking,
The puppy.
Oh.
That could be a cute little kid sweater.
Little kid, yeah. Small person, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those are the crazy thoughts. I think...
I look around this room and I have crazy thoughts.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I look at my...
That I want to cast on.
I look at my queue.
That I want to cast on.
And my stash.
This that I want to design.
Again, things that really, really, really
and then there's
just
all
need
of
time.
This over here.
Oh, yeah.
I need to take one of those with me.
Yeah.
I need to take a whip with me and finish it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can go through and assess next week which one to take with you on your trip.
That's a good idea.
Is it time for advent calendars?
I think it is time for advent calendars.
So, I didn't bring it last week because it arrived on Monday! So, I got mine from Goosey Fibers. Look at how beautiful this package is.
It's gorgeous.
They designed this. It's phenomenal.
I can't even understand how you do that.
I don't either, but I love it. I'm so happy with my decision to get this. It's just, so it came with this and number 25, obviously a full skein, and it's called Staying at Hogwarts. So I know what the colorway is called. I don't know the colorway because I haven't looked it up, and I don't know if she made all new colorways for this one.
Okay.
So if you have a Goosey Fibers box, look away for probably the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, they should have opened it.
Well, yeah. So box number 1 is House Elf Mischief. Look at how pretty it is with these little green speckles.
Speckled?
I got the Goosey Fibers because she had a really good, or really,
Good
the
story?
photo she had as her, inspirational photo really called to me. And then she also said it was going to be, Harry Potter based. So.
Right.
And then, of course, I found on Thursday this yarn called Vegan Yarns. and it's all like vegan yarn, so they're all boyfriend friendly.
Ah.
And they had done a advent calendar, and I was like, why didn't I get 2? It's okay. But yeah,
they may be a good place to order from.
Yeah, so we'll see. I might order some yarn from them anyways. So that was day number 1. Now where is day number
Right there.
2? Oh, Mom has already scoped it. Let's see if I can not break this one. Ooh. Ooh, it's called Owl Mail. Ooh.
Oh, that's really pretty.
That is really pretty. So I think I'm going to wait to see all of the colors together and then decide if I want to do the Adventurous wrap or like the one from last year, which is a fade in kind of 2 triangles, or if I want to do the one this year that's a lace kind of pattern that's a kind of a slanted rectangle.
Interesting.
They're both beautiful. And then there was also so yeah, they're both beautiful. There was something else I was thinking of and I lost it as I was talking. So
you have another advent calendar. Did you?
I have 2 more. Guys, I have 2 more. But this is my yarn one. And I love it. Like, I have it currently on, or when it's at home, I have it on my dining room table. Well, dining table, because I don't have a dining room. And I have it set up and open and beautiful. And my little tree with my Christmas eggs on it. And my tea advent calendar, which a friend of mine got me.
Which I think is adorable.
Which is so great. It's 24 days of tea to enjoy. And so day number 1 was a green tea. And
I guess you all have heard about the tea diet. Which, well, because they talk about green tea and black teas, which is what this reminded me of. And, you know, if you're going to be doing that, this is a lovely way to sample some new either green teas or black teas to see which you'd like to have more of in your diet.
I guess so. Don't know. Mom read it in the line at the grocery store. And then we have a detox tea. If I can get it out of its little cubby. It is for energy. It is also a green tea with acai and guarana, and with the flavor of passion fruit.
And
Interesting.
Acai is a little fruit from Brazil.
Yep. And it actually says that it's Brazilian on it. So that's lovely. So that's advent calendar number 2. And then my mommy loves me.
Yes.
And got me a chocolate one. I already opened up number 1 and ate number 1 yesterday.
Yeah,
it was a family affair.
Yes.
Oh, we have to take this thing off because I think 2 is behind here. Yeah.
Does it come off?
Well, it's gonna come off.
Okay.
There we go. I don't see number 2.
Intelligence test. Okay.
Oh, what did it have on the inside of this one? Well, now I can't tell because I
bent it in. All right, why don't you get that out?
They have little stars on them.
And it's all dark chocolate.
All dark chocolate. So.
And then there's a candy cane on the
There's
inside.
a lollipop. So.
Right, a lollipop.
Yay,
sorry.
chocolate.
And while I talk about mine, you can price that door out.
Yep.
So I got a yarn advent calendar too. I got mine from.
Oh, the first one was a popper.
Oh, cool. Sun Valley Fibers, and I remember there was a reason why I ordered it, and now I can't remember. But these are 80 yards. She labels them in yards, not grams. But 80 yards should be about 20 grams. So this was day 1, and this is color 019. Let's see if it has a name. It does not. This is fingering. It's MCN Superwash by Sun Valley Fibers. And then day 2 today is this. And so you can see there's a really nice color coordination. And this is 015. So I don't know if they're using Pantone colors and numbering them that way, but obviously they have chosen these so that they will coordinate well together. And at 160 yards, I think this is just about a pair of socks.
That's the
pretty.
shawl that I think they're all kind of designing towards.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, to knit in order.
Yeah, that's very pretty.
So that's the Adventurer wrap by Ambah O'Brien.
Yeah, last year we only had 5 yards, right? Or something.
5 grams. So then this is the wrap from last year, which is also very pretty. But you see it's a gradient up this way and then down that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I like it. It's just that I don't wear them.
Yeah, I wear them, that kind of style, more than you do.
So I'm thinking I need to figure out a sweater.
Okay.
And maybe, and since, this, you can start at the top and you can just go down.
Well, you have...
And I got some really pretty stitch markers. They are, as you can see, squares. And what's nice is they're on a hold ring that says Sunbelly Fibers. So really very nice. And they come in these little tiny bags. So it's easier for me rather than having something that large to have around. So I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. It's really nice to have these things to open.
Yeah.
Although I have to say the tea one would be nice. Very nice. Last year they were they were just wrapped.
Yeah,
they were just wrapped. Fine. What are you doing?
I was just doing math because I was...
Oh, math. Knitter's math.
Well, I was trying to figure out how much yardage you were going to have, and you're right. It's like 16 to 1,900 yards.
Yeah.
It's a crazy amount. It's awesome.
It's awesome, that's right.
So yeah, you could totally make a sweater out of it.
Yes, I could. This could be really good. A nice vanilla sweater. Very nice. Or
that one that we saw in the magazine a few weeks ago that had the stripes with the little texture in between.
I'm just thinking it could be a nice vanilla sweater, do top down. Kind of you use the neck from the Alfalfa. And,
okay.
And then maybe put in some of the waist shaping that I want to do, so I could actually make this a whole new new pattern. Works for me.
Look at it. But yeah, that could be.
That could be. The question would be whether you want it as a pullover or do you want a cardigan? I have to think about this. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Well, I had picked up the yarn and what I thought were the needles I was going to use for Cassie's cardigan, but apparently the cardigan calls for smaller needles than I thought it did, so I have to wait a little bit.
I'm so glad I did a gauge swatch for this hat, for that hat, because I tried using the needles that were specified in the pattern, and that didn't work very well at all. So I actually had to go up in needle size in order to make gauge. So knowing that I already have a problem with too much hair for my hat, it would have been a disaster. So I'm here telling you, as someone who really doesn't like doing gauge swatches, because I think we all just want to jump right in with whatever we're going to be working on, I'm so glad I did a gauge swatch. In fact, I managed to do the gauge swatch in the car on the way to church this morning. It worked out really fast. I cast on 40 stitches. It is a, DK weight? It's a fatter yarn hat. So 40 stitches was more than enough. In fact, I think it was something like 7 inches wide, which is fine, because then I had, plenty to measure. And by the time we got home, I could measure it and say, whoops, let's go up in needle size. And we're good. So for those of you who hesitate to do a gauge swatch, unless you're doing something like a shawl, or scarf where it may not make a difference. And, honestly, with a cowl, in fact, the cowl that I'm thinking of, it wouldn't make a difference. It's just a little bit more around your neck. But for things like sweaters, it's good to check the gauge.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to report, I've worn my knitted dress twice this week. I wore it on Friday and showed it to the president's secretary. She thought it was psychedelic.
I love it.
And then I wore it yesterday so I could show it off to your father's chairside assistant.
Ah.
Yes. And I do like it. I mean, honestly, I could have done 2 or 3 sizes smaller, but
you haven't put it through the wash yet.
I got so much ease, and it's so warm. It is so warm. I am so enjoying this sweater. So it works really well. I'm really pleased with it. It could either be a dress or a long tunic. I'm very happy with it. I recommend it highly. It's got visual appeal. The only problem are the pockets, which are basically useless except for putting your hands in. Because anything you put in it, it drags it down because it's a sweater. So, of course, it's not going to maintain its shape. You'd have to line the entire front down to the bottom of the pocket in order to be able to do that.
What if you did a slip stitch up the back of the inside of the front?
You'd have to do all of this because it's one whole side.
Right.
So
just give it some stability.
Slip stitch, or you could crochet a line.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
It's not that important for me to carry my keys in my pocket.
Agreed.
So anyway, that's about all that's new knitting wise. I think for me, I don't think any patterns came in this week. I know I hang out a lot on the free patterns for a limited time. And there have been a number of mitts patterns there, and there's been a couple of sweater patterns there. So if anybody's looking for a place to get free patterns, there's a free patterns group on Ravelry, and there is a tab for patterns that are going to be free forever, and then there's a tab for patterns that are free for a limited period of time. And obviously, if you can check every day, it works out best, but if you don't, that's okay too. The patterns don't disappear. They just become for a price if you're really taken with them. Mm-hmm. But there are generally new patterns posted every day, which is really lovely, absolutely lovely. So I have 3 more skeins of some purple and then very purple yellows are coming. And I'm looking at this purple. I've got red. I've got all these colors. But we'll finish these things. Certainly what's important is to finish because we don't want any more whips hanging about.
Nope.
So finishing things.
I didn't bring it, but I picked up my Zweig again.
Did you?
I did pick up the Zweig again.
I wore my Zweig.
I know. I picked it up and I brought it to rehearsal. And that's what I was working on at rehearsal.
That's good.
And I realized that my sleeves, I did the pattern repeat every 4 rows. It's supposed to be every 5. There's supposed to be 5 rows of stockinette in between each of those little X's.
Doesn't matter.
Oops. Because I was like, how is this working? Why is this not working? That's because I knit the body correctly and I knit the sleeves wrong. But I don't care. The sleeves are still lovely and I'll just keep knitting the body at the 5 rows in between. It was just...
That's funny.
It legitimately took me probably a good 5-10 minutes to figure it. And then I pulled it up on my phone and I was like, oh.
That's what it is.
Because I'm dumb. That's why. I was very pretty.
These socks have been my handbag knitting, and I was working on them.
I threw the Zweig in with the ease because I wasn't sure what I was going to feel like doing.
Well, as I said, the thrum mittens have to be made here because I'm working with little bits of fiber, but everything else could be on the move. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing pretty well this semester in terms of doing grading before I leave the office. So anything that's been turned in, say up through Friday, I get it done before I leave on Friday. That means I have the whole weekend to play, which is nice. So after we finish podcasting here, we make sure it posts. I have to do payroll, but after that, I can still knit. So I've got really time to work on the hat. I think that's about it.
I do too.
I really don't see anything else around here. All this yarn that we've gotten at the various fiber festivals is just calling to me.
Yeah, it needs to find a home.
Well, I don't want it to find a home until I finish some of these other things.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
I mean, I can certainly put it away. That's not the issue. I'm happy like this.
I know, I love it. I am too. I just happen to have someone who is showing up in about 2 weeks that cannot live in a space like this.
I understand.
So.
I understand. Well, we'll get through exams and then I can put things away. And I'll also finish some of the stuff so I could probably cast on something.
Yeah.
And it'll be the Nevertheless, which is over there.
It's over there. It's already wound, I think.
Oh, definitely. And I was working on a gate swatch, and I think I was going to use size 7 needles. So that's what's there on over there. Yeah, that's about it. So rather than drag on and on, I think we should say, let's weave in those ends.
All right.
Open up your advent calendars, get a cup of tea, and sit back and knit. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Bye.